It's a very different comfort zone, particularly with earlier stage with founders. I mean, if you're working with a major corporation, they got a fleet of people that want to do this and they're rolling out a new product, that's one thing. But in this kind of founder space that we're talking, that's got to be some magic around how you talk to somebody who's obviously very confident in their abilities, but maybe not in the abilities that you're going to be asking of them. How do you engage?
Yeah. Well, a lot of times we are working more directly with the marketing team. So we always need to be talking with the I mean, we need to know this. We need to know these people. We need to know what their point of view is, how they think, how they're going to present. That's part of the early work that we do, and it is about figuring out what kind of work needs to be done to get them ready. And it usually is the founders in a smaller company, obviously. And so we're typically sitting down with the founders and we do a lot of, media training and making sure that the story is really tight. It's all tied together. So a lot of workshops where we're working through the narratives and then making sure our spokesperson is comfortable with that story and listening to how they tell it and doing it over and over to make sure that they're ready. And then we always want to make sure that people feel over prepared when they're going into any kind of media situation. I mean, broadcast is a whole different beast than podcasts or, a print interview or written article, anything like that. So we want to make sure that someone feels prepared and confident and they're going to be successful, because usually the story is in there and you don't want to try to feed a story that isn't authentic, because I think the authenticity is really important, but kind of bringing out the best in people. But there is a lot of prep that goes into that, and not every founder wants to do it. A lot of times there may be more than one founder and it's about figuring out who's going to be the voice of the company. Not everyone wants to do it and not everyone is great at it either, and that's okay.
Yeah, there's the supply, right, of what you can bring to the pitch, the conversation, all of that. And then there's the demand of the publications. I guess we still call them publications, the outlets of the outlets. And so, you mentioned, oh, the board says it's time for PR. I think something the board often says in this area is like, I mean, imagine us on the cover of blankety blank or on the homepage of like like do you see that kind of dream publication misconception still, or how do you assess that when somebody comes to you with that? Are they, are they understanding the challenge or not? And in this landscape, is that even a thing anymore?
Yeah, this landscape is, I mean, it's right, it's shrinking too. I mean, the media landscape is changing, it's shrinking. There's new media popping up all the time. We're working a lot with Substacks and podcasts and different things. So there's an education piece of that too, but the dream publication idea, it's still out there. And a lot of the conversations we have are where, a company might just say, we want to get in this one publication and that's it. And to me, communications, I mean, it's an ongoing thing. It's not one and done. And even getting, on the cover of the Wall Street Journal is not going to change everything overnight. So we do hear that, and a lot of times it is the Wall Street Journal or, New York Times or something. And so having a dream publication is not a bad thing. Understanding the story that goes into actually getting that is what we do. And you have to have certain things to land something like that, but there definitely is that dream publication, I don't know, myth or whatever you want to call it, but those can be red flags too. So if you just want that but you don't understand why you want that, I think that's a piece of education that we need to do, and there's maybe a little bit of a lack of understanding there, but there are ways. I think we always come in and put together kind of it is like a dream publication list. It's the ones that are going to really move the needle for you, for whatever the company is. It might be the Wall Street Journal, might be something totally different. And then we have to reverse engineer your story to actually land that. And it is doable. So, I mean, I don't want to say it's wrong to have a dream publication. I think it's something, even like if we're working with a company, we want to get one of their customer stories out there. We ask that customer too, what's your dream publication, or where do you really want to be to, tell your story? And then we have to reverse engineer it from there. But I just, I can't emphasize enough that you really need to, every single channel, every single, publication, they all need different things, and you really have to understand what that is and tell the story that's going to work with those, their audiences, not just the story you want to tell. So there's a lot of work that goes into that, but